No, hello. Um, Hello, Fernando. Yeah, I think that now we can start. Um, so I'm going. I keep going with everything. Let's continue the part with JavaScript as we spoke about it before. Um, well, uh, Yesterday we checked about JavaScript. We Now is it clear? Is it clear my voice, Fernando? Can you listen to me? Hello? Hello? Okay, but let's see. Okay. Can you listen to me right now? Hello, Fernando. Can you listen to me? Hello? It's hard to listen to me right now. Okay. Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Prabhu, issue is yeah, some of the voices having a very huge bass. Little bit echo is here. Not like other. That mean what to do anyway. Now you say something now. Hello.
Hello?
You say something now. Just want to check again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I said hello.
Uh, Maybe number base very clear. Hold on second. Hold on one minute.
Okay, okay.
Oh, wait a machine check. Add new hardware.
Hello?
Yeah, now it should be okay. Now say something.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Yeah? Is it
Hello.
okay?
Now it's okay.
Okay, okay. So I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
we have to revise the yesterday what we done. No. Answer to that.
Okay, I think that now it's okay. Yeah? Okay, I'm going to take the examples from here um, and start playing a little bit with JavaScript as we did yesterday, okay? I'm going to move here and change the IP. Okay. Uh, well, actually, this is not good. I'm going to restart my virtual machine, okay? Okay. Let's wait a little bit for the restarting of the virtual machine. Okay. Uh, JavaScript is something that we have checked yesterday, and I want to complete some examples. I'm just waiting for the virtual machine. Um, as soon as it's ready, we continue. Okay? Oh, it's try to adjust it, please. I need to continue. Yeah. Well, I'm going to continue. Yeah. Try to unplug your speakers, please. Maybe that one is the problem. Okay, I'm going to start. Oh, okay. Just a moment, please. Something happened with the adapter. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take from here directly. Okay. I don't know what happened with that server, but I'm going to take here uh, from a server. Just a moment, okay? Mhm. Just a moment, please. Okay, I'm going to continue. Yeah. Okay, let's continue with this. First of all, I'm going to change everything into English. Just a moment. I'm going to make it everything in English, and then we can proceed with that. Okay. Um, I'm going to use directly the process that we have used. Okay. Okay. I am downloading this, and I'm going to enter here. I'm going to import the process where we did everything yesterday. I'm going to check the import. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, okay. So we check the part of the diaphragm here, and it was not this one. It was this one. Okay, so we check this part of the diaphragm, and now what we have to do is to continue. So I'm going to continue with the rest the, of the code. So I'm going to emphasize on using another library. This library is called backbone, and the syntax is going to be very different. I'm going to enter here in backbone some JavaScript. This JavaScript is going to be like this one. Setting changes with this. Okay. Setting changes, and here this, and then you have get field by ID, set value, process name. I'm going to write first the code, and then I'm going to explain what lies behind this code. So let me just write the code as is here. The field by ID, address, set value, okay, and here we call it setting changes. This name and address are this, okay? So as you know, the ID is going to work with the JavaScript, like this one. Okay, I can help him. What is the problem? Okay, could you tell me what is the problem? Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Mhm.
Yeah. There is a person called Anusha with me. He can log into the Ubuntu process maker by using his username. Yesterday he logged. Can you check from your end his username, or what is the solution for that one? You mean that
He's in the virtual machine, isn't it?
yeah, his name is Anusha. Anusha dot Samara Kodi. Wait, I will give the username. Anusha dot. Now, what is the issue, Pablo? Now he's going to trying to log into the Ubuntu process maker.
Mhm.
Even that the username password request screen also will not given. Is not given.
Let
This is
me, I'm going to send him an email. Can you write his name? I'm going to,
Anusha Samara Kodi. Huh? Wait, Samara Kodi. 1 minute. This is his username.
yeah, yeah, I have her
Yeah.
here. I'm going to send her
You are having
the,
his email address, right? You are having his email address, right?
yeah, um, yeah, but this is, no, this is not for Ubuntu, these credentials, okay? Those
No,
credentials are for
process maker.
university.
Login for process maker.
Yeah, the credentials that you gave me are for
Uh,
Process Maker University. For Process Maker, for Process Maker and Ubuntu, I'm going to show you. For
okay, boleh
in
jawab.
this case, no, for Process Maker Ubuntu, checking network here.
Itu karena dia pasnya dia bang. Online karena dia pasnya.
I'm going to show you. Okay, for Process Maker
So,
Ubuntu, it's different. You have to make it root and then process maker. P and N are capital letters.
ya, password process maker nih. Password process maker.
I'm going to write in the chat. It's for all the virtual machines. Oh, just just look at me, what I'm doing. Can you see my screen?
Password process maker di maker. Maker
Yeah.
process maker password dulu.
And here is with capital P, process, capital M, maker. And then university.
Now, Pablo, just for a sorry for the inconvenience. Now, actual issue is now it said that he can log into the this Ubuntu screen process maker, but now once he going to log into the process maker by using web link that for the process maker, uh, now we have to go to that Firefox and we have to open the process maker now.
Just a moment.
For that, yeah.
Okay, right now I have this. Fortunately, I was looking for this. Okay,
Yeah,
If you're in Process Maker, the only thing
yeah.
that you have to do is to make admin, and then you enter.
Only thing is, 1 minute. Only thing is this request the username password this screen process mag admin. We are putting the username admin and password is admin. That screen is not given to for him.
What?
1 minute. I will try. Just wait because I am logging to separate this by using my community version. I am going to also log in for process maker from this one. Hold on. Uh, 1 minute.
Okay, okay.
1 minute. I will check
Uh,
and.
Anusha, your credentials of Anusha.Samarokodi, those credentials are just for Process Maker University. If you have to enter to your virtual machine, you have to use Process Maker, the credentials. Let me resend you the email, okay, that I send you for this training.
Oh, apa?
Oh, she can't see.
Hello, dear Pablo, now he's also okay. That means now once we click the process maker web link by to the Firefox, that username should be asked. No, that screen is not given
You,
for him.
you mean in
My
here?
machine is my machine is okay.
This one. She can't see this.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. This screen is not given for him to log in.
And it says service unsupported, something, a message like that. Yes?
Bawa jago proses maker link card ni. Bawa kakak bawa terima hilang dan magi ano ni ba? Ito sino man yung case username password na yun may machine na yun PC.
The point is that you should have internet in
Yeah,
your
hold on. Pablo, give me 1 second. Hold on. Pandiyan na siya. Pagwakar ka, rumawala-wala ka na natin. Na maging, miyakar ka na din. Matayan mo lang na. Hold a second. We will try from our end first, right?
what?
We will try from our end to get
But,
fix the issue. Wait a second.
yeah, something that I recommend you should have internet in the virtual machine. Okay?
Yeah. He's now looking. Huh?
Yeah. Once that she has internet with no problem, she's going to be able to connect. I know she's going to be able to connect.
So, may internet guys within. Hold on there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, try to see if you have internet. Okay, that's important. If you have internet in your virtual machine, everything is fine. Yeah, yeah. It's an internet issue. Oh, should I move? Should I continue? Okay, I'm going to move. I'm going to disable the microphone. Okay, I'm going to continue. Well, was exploring this part with you of okay. Uh, what I try to do here is to use now. Each one of the fields are going to have their own IDs, address, name in this case. Okay. and they are going to be shown here, name and address, okay? And inside these fields, I'm going to set a value. But look at the syntax that I'm using here to obtain that field. I am saying get field by ID, and then in quotation marks and parentheses, I'm going to write the ID of that field. When that happens, I'm going to see that actually that is happening. The name and the address. Okay? The name is process maker and the address is process maker. These have been populated by using just JavaScript. Now, in your case, I know, Dinusha, that you talk about how can I populate the Dyna form using some restrictions and everything. You can make it with JavaScript. Okay, this is a way to make it with JavaScript. Population, something directly populated. Okay, I'm going to continue with another one. This syntax is it's very specific for the backbone library. Okay, because the syntax that you remember, this one, this syntax is for jQuery. But now the syntax that I'm using here is for backbone. I'm going to continue. I'm going to make var a field get field by attribute call span for I equals 0, a field length then I'm going to enter this code. Okay, Friday, is it the last day of work for you or not? Do you work until Saturday? Yeah, look at this. I am using this type of code because I'm going to identify fields that have a specific attribute. In this case, I'm going to use this called span6. And this function is going to change the color into green for them. Okay? So what lies behind the code? I am declaring here a field. This is going to store fields with the attribute of call span6. Call span6. 6, 6. Okay. By doing that, I'm going to create a loop. And this loop is going from 0 because the A fields variable is going to be an array. And it's going to come from the index 0 to the index of the length of the dim. That's why that I'm not making equal. I'm making less than a point fields dot length. And then a plus plus, the increment. A fields. I, because this can be 0, 1, okay? I mean 0, 1, because a fields is going to store these two fields here. So this is going to make you have action on different fields. Yeah, so I say a fields 1 dot l dot child nodes. We are going to check where does this come from, okay? Where it comes from. Child nodes, I'm going to take 1 style background, I'm concatenating with point, 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 and then green. So I'm going to save it, and then it means that these fields are going to be modified. What happens if I'm going to use something like this? And I'm going to modify this as 4, okay? It means that I'm going to operate now in this field because the call span that I have modified is 4. I'm going to see, and now you can see that it has modified for 4, okay? But this is because this function allows me to take an attribute, and in this case the attribute is the call span 4. Now I'm going to check what is happening behind all of this. I'm going to make here the preview and make it see this. I'm going to apply here from the console, and I need a get field by ID. And I'm going to check, for instance, name. In the code, you know that I had set .l, then I follow child nodes, and then okay. So what happens that here I'm going to take the get field ID, okay. Then I'm going to use the L, this, okay. Then after using L, I'm going to use the child node. Then I'm going to use the first element of child nodes. I'm following the sequence of things that we have done in the code. You know that our code for modification was this one. I'm going to copy and paste it here. Yeah, it was child nodes, then child node 1 here, then we have the style here, then the background color here, and we modify this background color. Okay? That's the sequence of events that we have followed. It was that type of question. Okay? Do you have any questions for this part? Okay. I'm going to continue. I'm going to use another Dynaform to explain now JavaScript in action for Dynaforms with a grid. So I'm going to move to Dynaforms here and select this Dynaform and start operating on this Dynaform. I'm going to click on here, and remember that the ID of the grid is going to be found here. In this case, it is grid, and temperature is going to be this one. I'm going to enter the JavaScript here, and it's going to be this. So I'm going to enter text here. This text is nice job, and I'm going to make it 1 and 1. And then close everything. Okay, what I try to do is to set a text, as it says the function, in one of the coordinates of the grid. In this case, the first column, first row. But I need to make a click to make this work. Nothing happens. I'm going to make the click. Excuse me. Okay, I make the click, and now it appears here the nice job. Let's make it again. Now you can see that here it appeared the message. The message is nice job. Okay, first row, first column. What happened? Then I set here in the JavaScript the grid on. Okay, if I have this event called click, the grid, you have to set the text nice job in the first column, first row, and that's all. I'm going to continue. Write form, then first, then submit, then by the function, total value here, parse float, temperature. Value. Then I say here if total value more than 50 or less than 50, alert. You know that you have been trained to use some alerts in JavaScript, and reads are not going to receive the exception for that. Climate seems alarming. But this is something that I'm going to apply. I'm going to explain you how is the code, okay? Return false. Else, return true. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, this works like this. I'm going to enter some values, whatever type of values, 15, 25, then I'm going to enter. But the condition says that if I have values, the amount, the sum of all the values is beyond 50, and I'm going to receive a message. Okay? Obviously, this is going to depend when I click submit. If I click submit here, nothing happens because I have 40. But what happens if I add 30 here and I click on submit? The message tells me high temperature, climate change, alarming. Let's check it out the code. In the code, I am saying form in this class, first submit. This is the event. Here I say use this function. This is going to obtain total value equal parse float temperature. Temperature is this one. Temperature, and then get summary value. I'm going to, this get summary value means this. It means this, the sum, the total sum. I'm going to answer, but just one question. I'm going to finish the explanation, okay? But I'm going to answer that. So I'm obtaining the summary. I'm obtaining the total amount. Then I say if total value is beyond 50, use this alert. If not, continue. Okay, how do I get the sum of the values of grids? I'm going to click here, and by default you are going to find in here just a moment please. Not showing me right now. I'm going to re-enter, okay? Yeah, in value there is a part here, and here you have to select in function sum, and there you have. You're going to obtain the values that you require. Okay, going to continue with the Dynaform. Another Dynaform, another script. I'm going to make it analytics bar. Now rows. Then here temperature, and then get number rows. Okay, then rows here. I'm going to explain, as you know, after I'm going to explain how the code works. But I think that you have a lot of knowledge of this part. And then I say console.log temperature. Okay, get text I1. Temperature text temperature here. Temperature I2. Close, close, and close it. Okay, this is going to be less. Yeah. Let's check it out. Hmm, I'm checking for a while my code. You know that I use a mix between Backbone and sometimes I use some jQuery. Okay? Okay. Okay, let's begin. This says that if I'm going to use, for instance, something like 15, nothing happens. But if I move to 36, check that. Yeah, I forgot to call this function, so I'm going to call it. Save it. Okay, nothing happens that. But if it's more than 34, oh well, I'm going to check this for a while. The code. Okay, now let me see. Okay, now it works. It was just one problem of, okay, if I have values less than 34, nothing happens. But if I have values more than 34, this message is going to be shown. Why? The function says that I'm going to count the number of rows from this grid, temperature. The grid is this one. In this grid, I'm going to obtain the number of rows. Then I'm going to apply a loop and say var I equal 1 to I less than number of rows. I'm going to use the number of rows here as the limit of my loop. And then the increment is going to be one by one, the increment. Then I'm going to apply this console log temperature and then get text I1. So it means this I means any column of value, excuse me, any row of value but the same column. 1. Any row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why that I use here this. Any column, okay, it's going to be the temperature, and then get okay, temperature, I'm going to obtain that. Any row, I, and then 1 is going to be the first column. Then I say if temperature, I'm going to obtain the text, and it says I1 more than 34 if any of the values is more than 34 in a row. I'm going to obtain this temperature and set the text on the second column. I mean in here, on the output. And then I start with temperature and then change analytics. So it is going to detect that it's 34, and then it writes this announcement, string temperature. Do you have any question for this? Okay, let's continue. I think that with this I think you know this part of JavaScript. I have finished this part of JavaScript. I'm going to continue with PHP. PHP is going to be a little bit different because we are going to use another type of language, and this language is going to be PHP. We are going to enter to the part of triggers. I'm going to use the triggers and show you how they work, how they behave, and according to that, I'm going to show you techniques to enhance the functionality of your process by including small scripts in gaps in PHP. Okay, so this part is going to be mostly dedicated to the part of programming. Advanced Architect is not entirely dedicated to programming itself. It is dedicated to other areas as well. Okay, but the most in the fourth, excuse me, in the developer course, you're going to see a lot of programming. That's very common to find. Okay, okay, I'm going to continue. Yeah, let me proceed. I'm going to move to the next chapter. Triggers. Try to see the part of the problem in that, okay, in your connection. Okay. Can I continue? I'm going to continue. Okay. Okay, I'm going to talk about triggers. Just a moment. Okay, triggers. Let's see this. I'm going to check this part of triggers. Okay, let me import the process first. Okay, in here, I'm going to enter this. I'm going to check that part of the triggers. Obviously, I'm not going to need this trigger. Okay, they are assigned. Just a moment. I'm going to throw them. I'm going to move them from here, and then we continue. Okay, to create the trigger, you can click it here or directly here. But I suggest you can click here. By clicking here, you are going to have a list of triggers. Okay, so what you have to do is to use one of the three options for the trigger creation. Wizard is a type of trigger that you can create with no code. You are going to enter some parameters, for instance here, for JavaScript. You have to enter some parameters and then it starts to work. Okay? Something that you have to know about Wizard is that we have integrations that are necessary. So these integrations will work with Process Maker if they are properly installed. Copy is to obtain a trigger. Okay, for instance, from here, I'm going to obtain a trigger and copy it from another process. I'm copying a trigger from another process. And yes, okay. Um, let's continue with that. I'm going to click on create here, and I'm going to write here. Obtain user details, okay. And in the description, you are going to have like this: obtain the current user's name, address, and email address. I'm going to open the editor here, and I'm going to enter this user info here. following code is going to obtain information from a user who is logged. I'm going to use the variable picker in this case and obtain that. And let me remind you that when I'm going to use the variables for a process, I'm going to find two types of variables. These are variables provided by the system, okay? The index, the process, the application, and so on are variables provided by the index. When I choose from here, these are variables that are more specific, you know. These variables are from a case in process maker. Okay, I'm going to use the user log. Then name here. I'm going to enter the name here. User info. First name. And then here again, user info. Last name. I know that user info is going to store the information that I require. Okay? And then I'm going to populate or at least transfer some values from user info to some variables in process maker. Name, for instance, is going to obtain from user info the first name and the last name. I'm going to explain in detail what is happening there. Here I'm going to take the address. Then user info. Here address. Then you have the email address here. And this is going to be user info. Then you have here the requester. User log. Okay. I'm going to show you what it does. Okay. And there you have. Okay, I'm going to save all of these and then enter in here. And let's make it run. I'm going to use for this case the admin user. Okay. And for this also I'm going to use the admin user. Okay, let's begin. I am logged with the administrator user. I know that here in this process, this Dynaform, the fields of this Dynaform, name, address, and email address are empty. They are going to be populated with the trigger because the trigger I have placed in this part, in this time, in the before Dynaform. So I'm going to click on Home, click on New Case, and click on here, and there you have. These fields have been populated. Now, the question that lies behind all of this is that you can have you have the user details here, it's populated and everything. But I know that this is a product of a concatenation of values, okay? So if I go to the designer and study a little bit more the code, I'm going to be immersed here in the trigger. I want to show, well, first of all, let me enter this. I'm going to make the debugger. Okay, and these are the name, then the email address, and finally the address. Then I'm going to, okay, but I know that I have all these values. I'm using the debugger and I have all of these variables, okay? But the most important thing here is that I don't know where is the user info. Why? Because in the code, user info is represented as a PHP variable, not as a process meter variable as name. In other words, it doesn't have the same prefix. If I want to look at this, I'm going to make a parsing. User info equal user info. And now we are going to see what lies behind. I'm going to make a refresh of this, a reload frame. And this is the user info. It is an array. That's why that our code is going to construct it by concatenation. Take a look at this. Username is the index for admin, and first name again. So the combination, for instance, of first name plus last name is going to be administrator admin. This is reflected in this code. Name, user info, first name, concatenation, user info, last name. Okay, so that's the part related to this first trigger. Let me make another trigger. I'm going to follow another trigger more. Okay? Let's begin with another trigger. Okay, I'm going to open the code. Okay, what was your question? Okay, I'm going to continue, Dinush. Uh, Now let's work with another. Let's work with another trigger. Okay, I'm going to use now another trigger, and the name is going to be submit invoice item. Then I say store invoice items using an external database connection. I'm going to open the editor. First, I'm going to enter this variable. You know that I'm using PHP in this case, so don't be afraid of that. Okay? Then I'm going to use the grid, this grid variable. In this case, I'm going to use something very different because the prefix that I will use is this one. And this doesn't make the parsing as a different format or it's going to show something quotation marks. No, it preserves the things as they are. And in this case, grid is going to be an array and it's going to preserve its format as an array. And it's going to be the grid. Rows, going to count here. Grid. And I say I. Then I plus plus. Then quantity, okay. I'm going to explain this because it's a more complex trigger. It requires to have fully detailed. So we have here grids, and then quantity here, description, and then read, then you have query here, insert into reported invoice item, quantity, then description, quantity here, description, I'm going to close it, then I say execute query, query connection, price, description, quantity, okay, these are the values, then unit price. I'm just making I'm checking, okay, invoice item, query, greet, okay, this is unit cost, that's fine, description, quantity, okay, then I is going to be equal to 1, rows, I plus, then you have rows, count, greet, that's fine, and greet, okay, now I'm going to check this part, okay, so, well, now I'm going to use it here, okay? First, I'm going to show you how it works. Then I'm going to explain why do we use this type of trigger, okay? So I'm going to use all of this. The trigger that I have created is going to take the items from this grid, okay, and transfer all of this to a table in a database. is this one, transactions, and this is going to be the table. If we look at the structure, we have this type of structure, quantity, description, and unit price, okay? And if we browse it, I don't have any element yet. So I'm going to continue and create a case to show you how it works. I'm going to click on invoice approval here. And the quantity is going to be, for instance, I'm going to make 10 radios. The unit cost is going to be 45. And then I'm going to use 10, 20 smartphones at 100. These values with the trigger are going to be transferred to this database. So let's check it. The grid is going to be represented as an array. Let's continue. Now, the last trigger to be executed was this one. Let's click on the browse, and there you have the quantity, description, and unit price are represented there. Let's make the study in depth. Okay, what was the question, Dinusha? Um, yeah, but it's like you can insert values because that PM table that you are created is going to be part of your DBMS, of your database. So using the same concept, yes, you can do that. Okay, can I continue, please? Okay, I'm going to continue. No, sure. Oh, the action, you want me to repeat the action. Okay. Um, when I create a PM table, yeah, these tables, they are going to be found here. For instance, expenses. They are going to be found here. Now, if you have the copy or the representation of that table in your DBMS, call it phpMyAdmin, you can transport values from Process Maker to a table in Process Maker. Okay. Can I continue, Dinusha? Can I continue? So I think is it clear? Is it clear? Can I move forward? Yeah, yeah, please take. Okay, Fernando.
Thank you, Pablo. Now, what has happened? Now, just give me 5 minutes. I will check. Now, I checked yesterday because we created 2 3 p.m. tables. No, yesterday or something. I checked my SQL DB. That table never copied to there. Just give me 2 seconds. I will check.
Okay, okay. I'm
Okay.
going to give you 3 minutes. Okay.
I'm using what do you call this tool? Workbench for call to the MySQL DB.
Yeah, yeah. Just let me know if you're ready. 3 minutes. I'm going to give. Okay.
Okay, 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 right, right.
Imagínate que, bueno, ayer estaba haciendo y me salió una parte que no quería descargar. Me estaba revisando en un box o algo así. O sea, ya tengo el link, ¿no? Eso no me está. Pero después, eso es como laboratorios, nada más. No hay nada que pueda hacer. Ahorita no. A menos que revises la última parte que ya lo adaptado. No, no, no. De la instalación, lo adaptado. Sí, solamente. ¿Está aquí en universidad? Sí, sí, está. O sea, son dos habilitados. ¿Eh? A ver, sí, que, ah, exactly, exactly. That's something that, okay. So you could see your tables. Okay. So can I continue? Yeah, no, don't worry. It's fine. Yeah. Let's check the code in detail. Here I am entering a connection. This connection comes from here. Comes from here. This is the connection, and it comes from here. Then I'm parsing here the grid. Grid, okay? And in here I'm going to enter the rows and count the rows of the grid. So it means this. You know that this is a Dynafirm. You have the report, and there you have. All of this is going to be the rows that we need to count. And we count by all of this. Count grid, rows. Then here I look, 1, rows. The number of rows that I have is going to be the limit of this loop, and this is going to be incremented in 1 by 1. I go here and I say quantity. The variable PHP quantity is going to take from grid, this is the grid, I, any of the number of the row according to the loop, and I'm going to take this value, quantity. This value. But this value is going to be taken with the ID. I'm going to use the ID for this purpose. So it's going to be from the grid, then the number of row, and finally the quantity. Description is going to work the same. You only need to have the ID. Unit cost is going to be the same, and you need to work the ID here. Okay? Query. I'm going to apply this query and say insert into reported invoice items all of these, and then I'm going to define in this query first the name of the fields, quantity, description, and unit price. Quantity, description, and unit price. Then I insert the values. The values are from here. Quantity, all from the grid. Description, price. And finally, I execute the query. So I'm going to take the values here, and let me show you that in this trigger we are using this insert into report invoice item, and this report invoice item is this table. Now the connection of transactions to that database depends entirely on this. This value is going to represent the connection to that database. Okay, so it means that if I go to home and click on new case and then the invoice approval and enter here some values like clocks, then another quantity here, radius, and submit, we are going to have now these items incorporated here in this table. Do you have any question, Fernando? Is it clear? Do you have any question? Okay, that's fine. I'm going to leave you with a lab and the quiz. Then we are going to make another example, but let's make this lab and the quiz. Just a moment. We are here. Triggers. Okay? Let's make this lab and this quiz. Okay? Okay, 15 minutes. Time's up. Did you finish? Okay, Dinersha. Let's check this quiz. Regular PHP variables and functions cannot be used inside triggers, so yours are false. PMF information user returns an array that contains information about a particular process maker user, such as, well, this is some complex and I prefer to use it, here. Let's check. You are going to use the address, the number, I think. Yeah, the phone. You don't see the password, but you see the creation date. You see the status. Yeah, I think that with that we are done. Process Maker features a set of predefined functions to help users build in simple triggers without using any PHP code. True. Process Maker triggers are passed as PHP script. Process Maker can connect but not execute queries in external databases. False. It's possible to create custom Process Maker triggers in which the PHP source is entirely defined by a user. True. Finish the temp. I'm going to submit all. Okay, there you have. Do you have any question for this, Nusha? Is it clear? Okay, let's make a final example as a way to review the concepts. I'm going to make an example that contains many features, and then we close this part of triggers. It's a very long example because I'm going to design a process, and with this I'm going to close actually the part of triggers. I'm going to begin the example. I'm going to move to designer and click on new. I'm going to enter here this title, create and assign users to a group. Description is going to be this process creates and assigns a user to a group using process maker function. I'm going to create it. Okay, first I'm going to design this pool, and in the pool I'm going to put a name like this one. Create and assign users to a group. Then this, a task here. I'm going to make it user task, and here edit the label. I'm going to be create and assign a user to a group. Email. Excuse me, I'm creating the variables. I know that I'm moving very fast, but now I'm creating the variables for such exercise. I'm going to create the email here, and it is going to be string. Then the first name here. Then the group ID, group brief here, brief, okay. Then the last name is going to be a string. The password is going to be this string. The role is going to be this select role UID role code. I am entering a SQL statement to populate and give directly values to the role variable from RBAC role. Then username here, email, first name, group read, last name here, password, role, username, going to close this. Dynaforms, and then you have here create user. Description: this Dynaform contains the required fields for user creation. I'm going to use here the title, and then here I'm going to write create user. Then I'm going to add the text. It's going to be this text box. Let me show you. I'm going to create here the username, then the password here, first name, last name here, six here. Then you have the email here, then this role, then submit here. There you have. You can see the role has been populated with the inclusion. This inclusion of the query that we have done in the creation of role has this effect. I'm going to have the list of roles here. So I have this Dynaform. I'm going to create an extra Dynaform. And the name is going to be group list. Actually, what I try to do here is to create a user and then assign it into a group list. And this is going to be this Dynaform displays the list of groups available for a user. I'm going to enter here the title, select group to be assigned, grid. I'm going to drag and drop here and select a group grid here, group list. And here submit. Then here this. Then UID here. Name. 33 here, okay. And so on. In this Dynaform, I'm going to display the groups where I'm going to assign a user. That's why that I use this type of Dynaform in a grid. I'm going to click on the checkbox called Assign, and it means that the user is going to be part of that group. So you're going to see that in the sequence of steps that we are going to follow in this process, the advantages of using these type of grids make it easier for a user like us to see how it works, this assignation of our new user. Let's continue. I'm going to click on triggers here. And see this. This trigger creates a user using the PMF create user process maker function. Then, well, we are going to add a code as typical. So my code is going to be this one. I'm going to enter here user created, and this is going to be create user. Okay. Oh, I prefer to paste it. Okay. it makes it easier my life because I'm going to spend a lot of time writing. Well, well, what is this code? Create user. I'm going to provide some arguments, and if you remember, the first Dynaform contained all these arguments: username, password, first name, last name, email, role. So all these elements combined are going to make possible the creation of a user. I continue with the next trigger. I know that I need some triggers, okay, and I'm going to use two more for them. This one is going to be obtain the group list, and the description is this one. This trigger obtains the group list using the PMMF group list process maker function. Again, I'm going to copy and paste because it makes easier my life. So I'm going to make like that. Group list. You have the group list, PMF, group list, okay? The function is going to call a group list, and then it is going to organize all these elements in an array. This array is going to be displayed or associated to the grid of the second Dynaform that we have created. I'm going to click on create and say assign user to a group. This trigger assigns the group using the PMF assign user to group. Since I obtained the user list in this section and I'm going to organize it, okay, then I'm going to make the assignation of a user. All of this is going to be fully detailed after the execution of the process. Finally, we close everything with the step assignment. I'm going to click on here and assign all the steps. The first one is going to be a create user, then the group list. This is going to be create user here in group list. I'm going to obtain the group list here, and in here I'm going to assign user to a group. I'm going to assign rules here, and it's going to be here the admin, and save it. Triggers, dynapoints, and other elements have been assigned to the user. Now it's time to play a little bit with this process. In such process, we are going to find a rich content of functions and also capabilities of process maker. We click the debug mode because we need to check the variables behind this process. That's why that I'm going to use this. I click for that reason, to see what is happening behind. Let's play now with our process. I'm going to click here. And well, I'm going to write a name, so it's going to be Jack, and the password is going to be admin. I'm going to make Jack Vida the last name. The email is going to be jack.derrida@processmaker.com. Now I'm going to select here a role. We have the 6 elements for the creation of a new user. I am here. I am in here. Create a user. I am in here. I'm going to submit. Okay? This is going to tell me that the user has been created, and it says 1. We have filled this Dynaform, and after that, this trigger has been executed. This trigger contains all the variables that we have entered here. The variables are going to store values, and with these values, we create a user. How do I know that this user has been created? Because user created is going to tell me 1. Jacques Derrida has been created. This is our user. We can check the edit, and there you have. All the values have been added for this user. We are here, and if we check, this trigger is going to obtain a group of lists. Okay? And this list Maybe we can make it like this. Okay, because I have parsed that variable, I can see now in the debugger. And you can see that the group list is going to be arranged by one element with GUI and then the name, then GUI, then the name, and so on. So the group list is going to be represented in an array. In such array, I'm going to enter here 1 and then an iteration. For each group list as group, this decomposing of the group list is going to be observed here because each element of this array group list is going to be a group. Obviously, it is an array. This is a multidimensional array. And then I say group create. I'm going to create this variable group create is going to be an array constructed, and this associated index is going to receive from this value group get. Okay, and this group, as you remember, is the subunit of group list. So I'm going to obtain here the get here and then name group get group name and then the associated values. And I say group grid, it is a variable of the grid of this grid. Group grid I, okay, 1 is going to be equal to group grid. And then I'm going to increment everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the users that I have. When this happens, you're going to have this type of grid with the users, with the groups associated here and organized. Assign is going to be a different story because I have constructed with assign. The population has been completed of all these values. I'm going to assign Jacques Derrida to human resources and then to employees, but not employees. Maybe I need sales. And now it tells me assign groups. What it means this? Let me check. I obtain the user list, PM user list, and this is going to follow the same concept because I'm going to obtain here for each user list as user. Let me make this like this, user list equal to this. Okay, let me check. Yeah, this is the user list, and it follows the same concept as in group. You have a key, you have a name, but the thing here is that I'm going to make here an iteration. The user list is going to have many arrays. Each array is going to represent a user. And then I'm going to ask this question. Username, because I have this index, is equal to username here. I mean this. The name here, Jacques Derrida, in this case our user, is equal to username. If this is true, the user UID is equal to user git. Okay? I am storing the UID of that user because I am making an iteration to find the user created based on the user list. As soon as I obtain that, I'm going to obtain the user ID of that user that I have searched for. When that happens, I'm going to move here to group create because all my create of groups have been there. And then I'm going to apply here assign equal 1, assign groups I equal group UID, group UID. Okay, I am trying to see which one it has been selected as group. And the groups that I have selected, they are going to have 1. I mean, this checkbox is going to represent the 1. So if I select a group with this checkbox, I select the checkbox with this group, okay, you are going to see this. Okay, group ID, name. Okay, let me check this part. Okay, I am here. The group grid, it means the groups that I have selected, they are going to have group. Group assign equal 1. Assign group I equal group UID, PMF assign user to group, user UID, group UID. I have it identified here, the group UID. I have the two tasks to identify the user UID by a comparison here, and in here the marked groups from my Dynaform are going to be selected, and then I can say PMF assign user to group. I need the user UID and the group UID. When this happens, it means that I can assign Jacques Derrida to those groups. So I'm going to continue and finish. We search for Jacques and we surely are going to find the groups human resources and sales. Okay, did you understand, Yunusha? These are some techniques for, organizing everything in a line form and so on and so on. Do you want me to check one by one the triggers? Do you want me to open all of them? Okay, I'm going to make this. I am here. Yeah, well, I opened as a way to show you. This was for creation. This was for obtaining the group list. And this was for identifying the ID of the user and the ID of the groups. to make the final assignation, the final assignment in this case. Oh, I'm going to open both of them, okay? There you have this and this one. Do you want to check for a while? This one. Oh, let's make something. Can I send you this process and then you can check it on your own? Dinusha, I can, if you want, I can download it and send it to your email. Yeah, then you can check it. I'm going to export the process as normal. I'm sending it to you. Okay, time to take a break. Let's take a break, Fernando. 20-minute break. And then we go to the next step. You can check if you want the process. I have sent you. Okay, 20 minutes of break. See ya. Hello. Um, are you there? Fernando? Hi. Fernando, are you there? Hello, Fernando. Fernando. Hi. Inusha. Hello. Are you there? No. Hello. Hello. Inusha, are you there? Hello. Hello, Inusha, are you there? No. Okay, okay. I'm going to start. Yeah. Let's see. No, it wasn't a PDF file, Minusha. I sent you, it was a PMX extension file. You upload in your process maker, and then you can start checking. Okay? It was like that. I sent you in that sense. That's the email that I sent. So you can see everything there, the code, the Dynaforms, the assignment and everything, except the assignment rule. You have to assign the administrator. Okay? Yeah, it's a PMX. That's the extension that I have sent. I'm going to continue. We have our Dynaforms in our input document, output document. Yeah, I send you the entire process. Exactly. I send you all the process. Yeah. Well, let's check. I'm going to make all of this. Okay. I'm going to remove everything. Okay. Yeah, we are going to start. We are going to study three types of assignation. Okay. I'm going to study three types of configuration. The first one is going to be dedicated to the steps. The second one is going to be for the gate. And the last one is going to be for users. Okay, so let me continue. For configuring the steps, you have to bear in mind that you need to understand the sequence of the steps. In each task, you are going to find, by selecting the step, you are going to find this part, and you have to select a sequence of the steps. So in this case, I'm going to select first the report dialog. I drag and drop it here, and now this is going to be the first step of this task. I can edit the properties directly here, okay? And I can even make some conditions to make this step appear for some people, or making a condition that, for instance, if the value is more than 100, it means that this step is not going to be shown. You can create that. Then you have the triggers. If I click here, you're going to see that I have two times here, two times. So I'm going to select here the obtain user list, and then the value sum. I'm dragging and dropping, and that's all. Why I'm using this obtain user details? This trigger is going to obtain the values of the user log, and it is going to fill in the Dynamo. So it's necessary to have that information before the Dynaform shows. Okay? Before the Dynaform is displayed, I'm going to obtain this value, and then I'm going to transfer here. In here, I'm going to click on steps. And again, I'm going to use here the approved report that, excuse me. First, I'm going to select the copy of invoice. Because the previous Dynaform that I have selected um, in the first task contained a field where I can upload the file. I mean this. This Dynaform contains this field, and it has a relation with this input document. When that happens, it means that here I'm going to select here the copy of invoice, and there you have the input document. Whatever thing that I'm going to upload in the first task is going to be transferred here in this input document. I'm going to select this Dynaform here, and then the approved report form, this Dynaform. I have included two steps, the input document and the output document. I have forgotten something here. I need to select one of the Dynaforms, one of the triggers, excuse me, and it is this one, the submit invoice items. We have the first and the second task with the step. It's just dragging and dropping and then putting some of the, well, we use the sequence of steps as an order of display. I'm going to select here the steps, and it is going to be the proof of payment, an output document. In here, let me see here the code. It's fine. In here, I can again add some properties for the execution of this step. Okay, I have finished the step assignment. Routing is not necessary to explain right now. I'm explaining how to assign the steps into a task. After, I'm going to explain the routing and assignment rules. By now, I'm just explaining the sequence of steps, and these steps can be Dynaforms, input documents, or output documents. Bear in mind that, okay? I'm just explaining this chapter, just that. I'm going to explain this part right now. The gateway. Dinush, is it clear? This? Is it clear? Okay. Second type of configuration. I'm going to configure a gateway. The gateway is going to define the business rules. And in this case, I know that there is going to be an approval in this Dynaform. Okay? And it has this variable. I'm going to use this variable as a key element for the business rule. So I'm going to click here and click on properties. And in here you're going to find that receive invoice, this task is going to be invoice approved equals 0 and pay invoice is going to be equal 1. It means this. I have decided to make this, select a variable like invoice approved, and they say 1 equal 0. And in pay invoice, the same. Invoice approved equal 1. Everything here. Now, if you check it, I say 0 because this variable invoice approved is going to have this information. The no is going to represent 0. So if it is not approved this Dynaform, this request, the configuration here tells me it goes to receive invoice. Excuse me, this is going to be no. And in here, if it is approved, this is going to be yes. Pay invoice, this task, invoice approved equal 1. Save. There you have. Any question? Yeah, it's easier. Now we are going to talk about the assignment of the staff and then the routing rules. I'm going to click on here, but let me go here. Not here. Okay. I'm going to take reference in groups, okay? Okay. I'm going to move it here. I'm going to select on assignment rules. On assignment rules, we assign staff, okay? I'm not going to explain adult users because it doesn't make sense. It's something that we don't use longer. We don't use anymore this part. But look at this. Here we have 6 rules of assignment. What it means? Cyclical assignment. If I have the employees, I'm going to assign by taking, dragging, and dropping to the other side. If I use this, the cyclical assignment is going to assign a user, okay? And by making that, it means, for instance, I'm going to make cases, instances in a process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 41. 41 cases for the same process, and then it's going to restart again from the first process. So again from 1 to 41, and again it's going to assign cyclically. Manual assignment is going to make something totally different. You are going to select here a group of people, you click on manual assignment, and it means that I can select manually that user. Value-based assignment means that I'm going to enter a variable, maybe from a trigger, okay? And this value is going to detect a user, and he is going to be assigned. So this task is going to be assigned to the person or to the user inside this variable. Reports to is going to obey this type of thing. Reports to is going to obey this. If in the first task I answered Christopher was the first person to, well, let's look at this. Imagine this. Imagine this case. Christopher is assigned to this task. Okay? Christopher is assigned to this first task. And in here, I'm going to use reports to. Christopher finishes this first task and his boss, because of this assignment rule, Jacob, is going to receive that task. It's going to obey the hierarchy. That's reports to. It obeys a hierarchy. Self-service is going to be totally different because it means that I'm going to send the case and anyone can pick that case. Anyone. For instance, if I assign employees to this task, it means that the 41 employees can take that case and start using it. Finally, this one is a combination of both. The value is going to detect, identify a group, and the self-service means that from the selected group, anyone can pick that case. I'm going to make it manual here, okay? No, excuse me, I'm going to make it reports here. Here I'm going to make it cyclical and 41, okay? And here I'm going to make it manual. Okay, reports to means this. I have this hierarchy. This hierarchy is from a department. Christopher has his boss, Jacob. Christopher starts this first task. Once Christopher finishes this task, I know that this task has this assignment rule, reports to. So this task is going to be assigned to the Christopher's boss, because Christopher was assigned to this task. This means that Jacob is going to be responsible of this task. Yeah. Time to work with a lab. Let's make this lab, Dinusha, the last one. Okay? The last one of today's session. Let's make this lab. Okay, process configuration and the quiz. Process configuration, both. Can we do this lab? Dinusha, the last one. 15 minutes for this lab. And then we enjoy of the weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Okay, let's finish that. 15 minutes. Configuration and the quiz. Hello, did you finish? Yeah. Let's check this quiz. Okay. Going to attend the quiz. Question 1. It's possible to assign multiple user groups to the same task? Yes. True. A process maker user cannot be assigned to more than one task in a process. False. The following assignment rules are available in Process Maker: manual assignment, report to, value-based assignment. It's possible to configure triggers to be excluded as the following to be executed at the following points of the process in a process. Before creating a case related to the current process, this is false. Before a user is assigned to work on the next task, yes. Before a case is routed to the next task, yes. After a step is executed, yes. While a dynaframe field is filled out, no. The following assignment rule assigns the current user, supervisor, manager to work in the next task. Report to. Let's finish the attempt. Submit all, and finish. Okay, 100. Okay. Well, tomorrow do you work? Or tomorrow, or today is your last day in the week? Oh, yeah. So you want to finish early and go home. It's Friday. Yeah. Yeah, we have to meet the next Monday, and the next Monday I'm going to show you all of this. But you have the video recording, so I'm going to show you the video recordings, send you, and yeah. Oh, need to have a beer. That's a good start. That's a good way to finish and start the next week. Yeah. Well, yeah. Uh, well, I have gone through all these topics, and on Monday I'm going to finish the advanced architect. It's going to be the last session for the advanced architect, and I'm going to show you the last techniques that we explored. Um, But just that, I don't have more comments about that because it's going to be very dynamic, and I needed to be very aware of that because we are going to start working with running a case, then another technique, and then you have another lab and another lab and another lab. It's fully active. It's very active. Next session, the final session, we're going to have a lot of activities. And it's a Monday. Well, just that, nothing more. Just that. I'm talking about just that. I think that with that, I'm going to close the session of today. Yeah. Well, so see you on Monday. I'm going to explain the rest. See you on Monday. Okay, bye.